What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sportz Nutz. We have a very special episode. Let's get it.
Welcome to Sportz Nutz University. Welcome to Sportz Nutz University. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's go. Welcome to Sportz Nutz University. We run this show. We run this show. Welcome to Sportz Nutz University. Hands up, get loud. Hands up, get loud. Welcome to Sportz Nutz University. SNU, wow. Making you proud.
Sports Nutz back in the game. Make you remember the name. When it came with the vision, Matt brought it all in the frame. Nobody rocking like Shane. Give you them facts from the brain. Every take hot like a flame, then us going out with a bang.
Welcome to Sportz Nutz University. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's go. Welcome to Sportz Nutz University. We run this show. We run this show. Welcome to Sportz Nutz University. Hands up, get loud. Hands up, get loud. Welcome to Sportz Nutz University. SNU, wow. Making you proud.
You are now listening to the Sportz Nutz.
Marcus, that was a pretty cool intro, wasn't it?
That's one heck of an intro, brother. I'm digging it. I'm like, okay. I like
Yeah.
this.
Matt makes the best introductions. So, but guys, I want to say this. Welcome to literally the best talk show this south of the Mason-Dixon line in Mississippi. It is the Sportz Nutz. We have a very special episode tonight. As you get to see, my guy Marcus is here. Whoop! I'm excited about that one. And then our good friend Kulale Agbayani is coming on from the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. I'm excited to talk with her. She is fantastic. You guys are going to love her. Last time she was on, we had a really good turnout. Real quick, special shout out to everybody tuning in live on 95.5 KFCE, TigerNation.live, and all the amazing radio stations we also air on, plus the international audience, as we now air in 59 countries worldwide. We really do appreciate each and every one of you all for tuning in. Marcus, man, how are you doing? I want to say happy Wednesday to you. How's everything going with you, man?
Excellent, brother. Sitting back, enjoying the summer, just relaxing like we were talking about it earlier. Summer in the Midwest is amazing. And there's just been a lot of good things, very excited. Football's about to start.
Yes.
Chicago Bears played their first preseason game. Baseball is knee deep right now. Both teams,
Yep.
Chicago Cubs and Chicago White Sox, look like they're both headed towards the playoffs. So it's just a ton of coverage. And then we've got an exciting lineup. Bulls look very promising. The Chicago Blackhawks seem to be look like it's going to be somewhat of a resurgence. So I'm just over here just getting ready to tell the truth about all of that when it comes to Chicago sports.
Absolutely. Hey, if you guys live on the island of Hawaii, more specifically down of Oahu, and you need someone to cater to your corporate events or family outing, send me a message on Brandon Keeler on radio at gmail.com. Get you in touch with our good friend Bobby at Columbus Cuisine. All right, I'm not going to make her wait any longer. I'm excited. She is a legend, and I promise you, I'm not hyping her up. She is an actual legend. She just got a big smile when I said that. So we're really excited to have her on. Koo, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well, guys. Thank you for having me. I don't know if I'm in the legendary status yet. There are a lot of other sportscasters here out in the islands that are definitely legendary, but I don't think I'm there yet. But thank you very much.
Cool. You're meeting me, Marcus Mack.
Hey,
I think
there
you've
you
hit
go.
legendary status now. No, I'm just joking.
There you
I'm
go.
joking.
I
love
like
it.
it. I like that. There you go.
I love it. Real quick before we get into it, you are doing okay. I know we mentioned this off show, but I'd love for you to tell everybody, but did you sustain any damage from Hurricane Lala?
I was one of the fortunate ones, just the area I live and where our studio is in Honolulu on Oahu. It's very, didn't take too much damage. I know our friends, family, neighbors on the Big Island probably took the most, hit the hardest. So I wish them all the best in their recovery efforts, of course. But fortunately, yeah, for us, it was very minor in terms of disruption. Took a little while to get back on air live Monday morning, but in the scheme of things, it was minor and it was nothing for us. We have no complaints, and once again, hearts go out to those really impacted and affected, especially those on the Big Island.
Yeah, it definitely. So I heard that it was similar to Hurricane Iniki as far as the rain, but definitely not the wind. So I was like, ooh, that's kind of interesting to compare apples to apples. Iniki did some crazy damage. But I'm glad you're okay, and I'm glad everybody in your family is okay. It's never fun going through. I mean, like I told you, we went through Hurricane Helene, and that was a massive destruction here. So, and they're still cleaning up. Almost 3 years past. So yeah, it's been interesting. So let's dive right into it. And I want to go right into it with now, from what you have seen, everything in with camp with UH football. How are you perceiving the team? Do you think that this could be an exciting season for UH? What are your thoughts?
Well, I always think it's going to be an exciting season, especially after last season, right? The hype is finally like we can be excited about a season once again. We kind of went through quite the lulls following the departure of Nick Rolovich in 2019. And then you had COVID, and then you had the Todd Graham experiment that definitely did not work out very well. Timmy Chang comes in, needs to essentially revamp the entire culture. But at the same time, he is or was a rookie head coach, right? So it was a lot of growing pains, but I'm definitely happy for him, happy for a lot of the players that stayed, that they could finally feel and experience that level of success that ended with that win over Cal in the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl last season. So because of that, now it's proven, right? The success is here and the excitement follows suit. And there's a lot of people and a lot of hype surrounding this University of Hawaii football program.
I'm not gonna lie, I screamed when they scored that game-winning touchdown. I'm surprised they didn't wake my kids up. That's how loud I was, and it was such an memorable moment. And I was like, "Welcome back, UH." I'm not gonna lie, I'm also kind of hoping we see a 2007 repeat. When we go to the CFP, that's just my hope. So,
and
Marcus,
actually. That quarterback that threw the go-ahead touchdown in the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl just today was named the starter now, Luke Weaver for San Jose
crazy.
State, who Hawaii will play this season as they always do in the Mountain West. So kind of like a full circle moment that we will see there in the season.
I know that is weird. This is, it's actually one of my questions that we have back to, first we had Chevin Cordero leave and go to San Jose State, and now we have Luke Weaver. And I'm like, oh, come on, y'all. Let's not leave. But I understand. If people, with NIL nowadays, everybody wants to go left and right to find where they can make the most money. Marcus, do you have a question for her? Go ahead.
Oh man, you know what? To talk to a legend like this, wow, I just appreciate you. But no, seriously, you are. I mean, I feel like anybody that's doing what we do and can build your name, you are a legend. And don't ever sell yourself short on that, because it's not easy. The grind is hard, and that automatically makes you legendary. How many other people are not doing this that might wish that they were? So what my question is really, when it comes to the University of Hawaii, I'm actually it's very interesting to talk to you, because this has been something on my mind, and I know the answer of how it's affected smaller Midwestern schools from, this is the Midwestern area where I can focus, but a University of Hawaii is actually quite interesting to me, because before Neil, University of Hawaii had this interesting, very kind of almost David versus Goliath attitude, and would sometimes actually kind of pull it off, where they would end up in a bowl game, make a huge splash, put their name out there on the map. They have a guy that rolls up out of nowhere that turned into a legit NFL player. And now with Neil dominating the college scene, has that affected the University of Hawaii, or is their pipeline or just been cemented and it's so good that, hey, you know what, we weren't really playing that type of game anyway? Most of the kids that can't come into the University of Hawaii are coming for the love already. and it's just kind of been a tradition. Have you seen the football fall off since Neil has started? And if so, is it a way that Hawaii can combat that new college climate of recruiting?
Great question. And first, Marcus, thank you for your kind words again about being part of this grind that we call sports media. It's definitely, we see it all across the country. Definitely until you make it to that Stephen A. Smith, Pat McAfee status, it's a job that you don't really
It's
make
a
much
grind.
money, and you do it for the love, really is
Yep.
kind of what we do. So thank you and appreciate your kind words. But getting back to the NIL portion of everything, honestly, yes and no. So that's the phenomenal thing about Timmy Chang and this coaching staff is that, yes, they're always trying to raise money and try to find ways. And the athletics department as a whole has different avenues to contribute to NIL, or, you know, nobody ever wants to say pay to play at this point, right? Like, it's not name, image, and like at this point.
It's pay to play.
It's more than, it's more than that. But and this is something actually I talked to Phil Steele about, college football analyst. He was on my show last week, but he said that Hawaii actually ranks very high for the homegrown teams. And normally it's all reserved for P4 level teams in terms of homegrown, being able to recruit and retain a lot of talent. And the NIL pot for the University of Hawaii football team is not very big. I mean, in the Mountain West, too, just like taking out P4 teams, it's not very big. When you look at men's basketball too, another sport that also gets a lot of money and support, when Hawaii moving over to the Mountain West Conference now, they ranked close to, if not last, in terms of NIL support. So, and I can imagine the football program with the new look Mountain West, probably somewhere in the middle, but not at the top. So it's just a testament to what Timmy Chang and his coaching staff has been able to do and retain talent, where Luke Weaver left because he wanted playing time. He was not going to get the start over Micah Alihado. Can't blame a kid for wanting to go, and it ended up working out. He bet on himself, and now he's starting for the Spartans. And then with Jackson Harris, the standout receiver that came for a season last year, he parlayed that and got an opportunity at LSU. So if players are going to leave because they are good enough to go to a P4 place where we know they got a lot of money, but most of your talent are staying and they're not necessarily going to another Mountain West school or a Pac-12 school, let's just be honest here, they're not the old Pac-12, then it's all, I think it's a success. And like I said, Phil Steele, who looks at all the college football landscape, says that what Hawaii is doing, they have been able to, kind of what you were saying in your original point, transfer what they were able to do before, and just kind of have this culture that people want to be a part of, and then still be able to sustain that now in this new era. I don't know how long it's going to last. I want to be honest, right? The money is getting out of control until there's some kind of something that they do with it. But at this point, they've been able to, and that's a testament to Timmy Chang. I want to say, I don't know if it would be the same if it was another head coach, but Timmy has been getting it up. See, we got the fans back there. Like, yeah, exactly.
That's my daughter. You hear? She's talking. They're actually watching you on TV right now, so they're enjoying it.
Well, yeah, and I respect the fact that Hawaii being able to still keep a pipeline and growing, because I don't know how much this has been discussed on the show, Brother Brandon, and I apologize if I'm rehashing some old that was drawn out, and I'm just over here, beating an old drum. But for the situation with the teams that were smaller in the Midwest, like University of Illinois, for example, Fighting Illini, they're in the pack. They're in the Big Ten. Now, before Neil, every now and again, the University of Illinois football team could have a moment. They could all of a sudden rival Michigan or Ohio State just for a little bit, even if it was just a tease, and we all knew it wasn't good. But just for that little, in that moment, in that season, they had put enough together to really make some noise. And I just, at this point now, no, it's not that Illinois, the University of Champaign, where they're located in Champaign, but it's not that they don't want to recruit a kid. It's the fact of where the money's coming from. What a lot of people need to understand is that this money comes from a lot of former alum And how are they getting that money? So a perfect example is the University of Indiana. The University of Indiana has been known for nothing for football for years, and they just won the national championship. And people don't really want to sit and ask why. It has to do with the fact that the University of Indiana graduates have deep pockets. They have a very big bankroll coming from their former alumni. And therefore, that has allowed this university to have this big pot of NIL money sitting to the side to rival with a school like Ohio State and Michigan. Because how many NFL players have already gone through Michigan and Ohio State? That's not hard when you can just hit up a former player and go, hey, or a guy that's currently in the NFL and go, hey, remember what the university did for you? Hey, how about you kick us back? We need a little help with that NIL pot. So I just think it's amazing that Hawaii is still able to have the establishment foothold that they have and can still have that shock season, because I just don't think that a school like U of I can have that anymore. Whereas Hawaii still has that small where they can, get enough players together for that, at least that one season, to bring some shock and awe to the college landscape.
Yeah, and the situation in general with UH is a very remote place. People think, oh man, it's paradise. You're living in paradise. I had Kamaka Pile on recently, and he cracks me up, and he was like, it's funny because I'm a Hawaii storyteller and I'm on a sports talk show. That was just mind boggling. But I was like, I have to have someone like him because I love his work. And he made a mention of, with the fact that there is so much disparity now compared to, even 5 years ago in the college football realm. And, I asked him what were his thoughts on New Aloha Stadium. And he said, I've seen the renderings and I'm really excited. And hopefully this transpires and really brings a signature point back to Hawaii. Because, it's hard to believe we're going on 20 years since the magical run of the Sugar Bowl. First off,
wow,
I'm having a hard time believing that. Yes.
It's 20 years. It's been that long, and
Yes.
I
Wow.
still remember that. That's my whole point right there. Can that ever happen again in the current climate that we are in? Like Ku was alluding to, that eventually there does need to be some type of salary cap set on this NIL situation to get control of it. But in the meantime, until that happens, what happened 20 years ago, is that even feasible to even think that the University of Hawaii could have something like that again?
What do you think? Do you think we are poised to see something similar to 2007's run, or as Marcus alluded to, it's not something feasible with today's type of NIL market?
To be honest, I think that year and Colt Brennan and everyone around him, that was special. Like, it's never going to be duplicated, right? It does take a special talent to be able to do that, right? Like, there was a reason why it hasn't been done before. And again, rest in peace to the greatest quarterback we've ever seen here play for the University of Hawaii in Colt Brennan. So I honestly don't think that it will happen again, even despite the NIL era. I just think that was just so special. And Hawaii, even when you take out the paying players portion, there's just not a lot of money that goes into the infrastructure. And now you don't have a stadium, because prior to NIL, like, I think it was Ed Orgeron that joked that, like, now you can walk the money into the front door, because they always used to walk the money into the back, right? Like, AO Miami, like, look, now they're good again in the national championship now that they can openly pay their players. So I think either way, we're always playing, from down low, because we just don't have the cool, like, ooh and ah, because not everybody does love the beach or appreciates the nice weather. I understand that. But for young people, when you show them like these awesome training rooms and a stadium and everything that comes with it, the glitz and the glam, like, that's what they kind of their eyes open up for, right? We don't necessarily have all of those resources in the University of Hawaii. So I think that, coupled with the not being able to have the funds to pay the players anything close to the P4 amount. But the university has always said, even Matt Elliott, our athletics director, that it's baby steps right now. I think the goal for UH, as it should be, is just to be the best team in the G5 level of conferences of schools, right? I think that's a good start, especially, again, unless they change things, which they talk about. That's all you need to at least get an opportunity to be in the college football playoff. You just need to be the best of the G5, and I think that's the baby steps. If eventually we get to a point where you're like, wow, and part of that year did end in a blowout against a P4 school. So, but we just want a seat at the table, right? So I think the goal is the right goal right now for UH, is that we just want to be the best, and not just in football, but obviously all of the other sports, the best conference of the Mountain West in the group of 5 level. That's what they're rooting for. Gloria Nevarez, that's the goal, is like the Mountain West wants to be the best conference of the G5 conferences, or G6, or whatever you want to refer to it as. And then Hawaii, for their part, wants to try to be the best overall in all of those conferences as well.
You know, a friend of mine a while back said, eventually we're going to have 3 super conferences. It's going to be the SEC, the Big Ten, and the EEOC, the Everyone Else Conference. And I can see that coming to light.
It's already happened. It's already happening. Brett, it's already happening. I mean, think about the champions. Think about the people that have won the college football championship the last 5-6 years. It's either been SEC or Big Ten, if I'm correct. I don't think that there's been a winner outside the SEC or Big Ten
since 18. I think actually was last time was when Clemson, wasn't it?
Clemson for the ACC. Yeah. That's been the last time. I know Notre Dame came one time to represent for the Independent. They got beat. You know, anytime there's been a team that's come outside of that. I mean, like I said, even look at the team that did win for the first time, Indiana. Look where they played, the Big Ten. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So even when a team comes up and finally wins that hasn't ever won, it's still from those two conferences.
Yeah. It's so weird. Now, Ku, I want to switch up a little bit. Now, obviously, you're a diehard soccer girl. I know this so well with you. Now, you played your whole life. Now, obviously, I know we can't sit there and say anything bad because it's still kind of early. But the Rainbow Wahine soccer, you know, they did play neck and neck with both Texas Tech and K-State, even though K-State and Texas Tech both won. I mean, 1-0 in one game, and that was barely a 1-0 win, and then 3-1 against K-State, which are both very good, solid teams. How does the Rainbow Wahine look to you this year? Do you think that we can see another amazing run this year like we saw a couple years ago?
I hope so. It's hard to tell through those first couple of games just because those were we talked about big conferences. I mean, those 2 Big 12 opponents that they had to face early on. And more importantly, they are still without arguably 4 starters, probably 2 guaranteed starters, and then 2 others that could potentially get worked into that starting rotation for the soccer team. So, I mean, without those 4, one being Nalani Damasian, who has been awesome since her freshman year, had a pretty decent sophomore campaign as well, but she's been out. I'm not sure when exactly she'll be back and healthy, but that's why I'm looking forward to, I mentioned this on the show, one thing I'm looking forward to is the game tomorrow or Thursday against Western Michigan, because then maybe you'll be able to get a true gauge on where this Rainbow Wahine soccer squad stacks up against someone that's not a Big 12 opponent. Now, they did have a draw against Seattle U on Maui, but that was an exhibition game. So I guess that was kind of a test as well. But the games, at least for this week, might be a better test to see exactly where they are. And once again, we won't really know how good they can be until we see them full strength with all of those girls back in who are normally starters.
Yeah, and you know that magical run a couple of years ago. I mean, I don't watch soccer, but I was on pins and needles. I was like, these girls are doing amazing work, you know. And my nephew Jackson is a diehard Lionel Messi guy, like super diehard Lionel Messi guy. And you know, my sister came to town, and we were in Atlanta visiting my mom and stepdad, and Jessica was there, and we were able to watch a good portion of the World Cup. And I have never been that loud watching soccer. I was hooked. I was drawn in. I mean, even my girls were glued to the TV. My wife was even glued. I mean, we were like, man, this is fantastic. And, you know, both Cassie and I looked at each other and said, we don't really understand what's going on, but this is amazing. And I told, it's kind of like field hockey a little bit. You're kind of playing field hockey, but it's still fun to watch. And when you see the fans get into it, I mean, and I got to give a special shout out literally to all the fans who came internationally, the Germans, the Swedes, the Netherlands, all of them. I mean, my favorite thing to watch though is the Germans go into Fenway Park and singing the entire time up. That was just that was awesome. That's the kind of stuff we need like in all of our sports. And people, I remember the announcers were like, is this normal? Do they get tired? And then someone goes, no, they do this from sun up to sundown and then some more. So it's kind of second nature. But, soccer is definitely an interesting sport to watch. Now, I want to ask you, obviously we know it's still early in the IOA season for high school football. And obviously it actually starts tomorrow here in the upstate of South Carolina, a couple schools, but then it goes full blown on Friday. But, which teams do you think, or excuse me, which school do you think this year has a chance to win state for the IOA? And I mean, I know I'm rooting obviously for Kahuku and Farrington, obviously because of Braden Fehoko playing there. But who do you think is poised to maybe win state this year?
It's a mix of potentially my alma mater, which is Mililani. They had a nice win over Liberty last week, a comeback win over the number 2 ranked team out of Nevada, just behind Bishop Gorman, who a lot of people are familiar with. Also, Kamehameha Kapalama, one of the ILH schools over here, they just barely lost to Orem, who is one of the top schools in Utah. And depending on how you rank high school football overall, some people put them better than Liberty. So our Michael Liscaro for HSRN has his like top 25 ranking of high school football teams that you guys can check out at hawaiisportsradio.com. But he kind of categorized it where even though Kamehameha lost this past weekend, he still had them at number 1 over Mililani, who is now number 2, because just how his conversations with coaches like on the continent have said that this Orem team that Kamehameha lost to by barely lost to them as well. They're kind of better on paper than Liberty is, so that's kind of how it evened out. But Kamehameha is probably they're looking pretty good. They lost the state championship as we know last year to Campbell High School. Campbell, I think, is gonna have somewhat of a rebuilding year. They're still trying to work out some of their pieces. Mililani, they have a very good quarterback in Hunter Fujikawa. He's just a junior, but he has offers from, I mean, just name them, a lot of P4 places like your Alabamas, Ohio State, Oregon, I want to say. So he is definitely someone that fans can look out for, and the next up-and-coming quarterback out of Hawaii. And then there's also Zion White. He did get injured in that game last week, Friday, but he is someone that came back home from IMG Academy, and Mililani is looking pretty sharp. So I would say right now, early on, Mililani from the OIA, and then Kamehameha schools from the ILH is your early favorites to potentially compete for a state championship. It seems like St. Louis might have a down year. Kahuku, I'm still not sure what to make out of Kahuku because they did play St. Louis, who I do think is kind of, they're not the St. Louis of old. There's been, just some things that have happened off the field and stuff from what I gather. And then Kamehameha Kahuku under another new head coach. But like kind of you mentioned, you can always count on the Red Raiders to end up figuring it out when it really matters. So you never count them out. But
that is ever true.
You can never count them out. Kahuku, like if we sat here and then they end up winning the state championship, I would be like, I'm not surprised. So you can't count them out. But I think early on, just from what we've seen through the first 2 weeks, it's looking like Mililani and Kamehameha Kapalama.
Wow. Hey, I want to ask you, what has the feeling been now that Coach Beeman has officially retired? Which I'm still in sticker shock because, I mean, I felt like she just started. I didn't realize it was over 14 years that she's been there. But what is the vibe been around now with basically the new look Rainbow Wahine? Because they are going to be playing in which, by the way, I'm excited. They're playing in Mountain West Conference play finally. But what has the vibe been around town with the Rainbow Wahine?
I think it's hard to tell right now just because we're so far from women's basketball season, because everyone's kind of focused on the new women's volleyball program in a sense with their new head coach and Joshua Walker.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
shocking
having
too.
two changeovers in coaches, yeah, like over the summer, Matt Elliott just had his work cut out for him, but a positive, right? Because it's someone that was coaching under Coach Beeman, essentially got the blessing of Coach Beeman, so naturally everyone is going to follow along, right? It wasn't a I know this is an exaggerated comparison, but it wasn't like a Nick Saban type of situation where Nick Saban leaves and then you have like, I mean, Nick Saban did, I guess, endorse somewhat, but it's not someone that came from his coaching tree directly that he could just be like, all right, here's your new head coach, which for Coach Beeman, it was similar to that. Coach Kalila Mitchell was on staff for a while, right? And then Coach Beeman was in full support, she always said she had future head coaches on her staffs. So, and you see them now. Coach Beeman is actually in, I don't know, like an administrative role, so to speak, in the athletics department, but
Good.
you see her still around and with Coach K. So they have a great relationship. So the outlook is overall positive. There weren't a lot of the star players, sort of speak, that left because of the transfer portal, right? So that's always good where you retained a lot of the talent once again. But yeah, it's overall positive because all those things that Coach Kalila Mitchell is someone that was with Coach Beeman. Coach Beeman endorsed her, was happy for her to get the job. And then you add in that the players, a lot of them stayed. There are maybe only, I want to say, two, maybe three, pardon it kind of escapes me, did transfer, but those were some players that didn't necessarily get a lot of playing time, where you have Bailey Flevel, the standout guard last year, now going into her sophomore year, she stayed, right? You have Victoria Tamilo, the big that kind of towers everybody. She stayed. You have Jovi Leifotu, who's the local girl, right? She stayed. So a lot of the players that were the fan favorites, they all stayed here. Kara Curtis is probably the one that made an impact last year as a freshman. She was probably the most significant transfer that happened. She actually went over to New Mexico, so we will see her again in the Mountain West, which will
I feel
be
like we're just seeing all
really,
the mountain
really fun.
people go to Mountain West now. It's just like, hey,
Yeah.
you get to play at Mountain West. It's funny like that.
And let me tell you, I'm pretty sure New Mexico has a lot more money in NIL, at least for women's basketball and men's basketball for sure, but men's and women's basketball than the University of Hawaii does.
I get so excited, and obviously because I'm a girl dad times 4, so we watch all women's sports a lot, and it's a lot of fun. I want to ask you a question about this. The AUSL is I am beyond excited for what has transpired with AUSL. I'm so excited for the future. My daughter Addison, who actually just walked downstairs and is waving at you right now. But she became a big fan of Carlin Pickens for the Carolina Blaze, and then they came out and said that in 2027, they're not going to expand, but they're going to expand in 2028. And one of the cities that's mentioned is Atlanta. Another one is mentioned is not Charlotte, but Louisville. Is those two that are pretty good. Obviously, Louisville is known for their bats. That's everybody knows that's exactly where the bats basically come from. But I asked one of the players from the Atlanta Smoke, which is on the professional softball league, what would be their feeling moving to the AUSL, and they said that they are head over heels about the possibility. Why do you think that softball has become such a staple? I mean, I would go back to maybe 4 years ago. There was not as much popularity as there is now.
Oh, 100%. And actually, I've talked about this before too. It's not that I never disliked softball. My mom tried to get me to play it as a kid, but I gravitated towards soccer. I was a kid with too much energy and a little ADD. So the fact that you're not playing the entire time, soccer was much better for me. But covering sports, I've gotten to a point where I genuinely do love softball, and probably slightly more than baseball at this point. And I say that because when it comes, especially college softball, I can watch the Women's College World Series, like whatever team is playing, but I can't watch the Men's College World Series. I don't know what it is.
Fun.
I love watching softball. I love how fired up they get. I love all the
God, yeah.
cheers in the
Yes.
dugout. Like, it's just, there's something about it that makes it that much more entertaining. And yeah, like I do notice that it has definitely gained popularity, as it should. It's very big out here in Hawaii. The softball team, like, I mean, it's free to go to their games, and they always have people in there. Baseball obviously is still popular here too, but yeah, speaking from someone who really has fallen in love with softball maybe the last couple of years, it's not surprising that like the rest of the country is getting on board as well. Like, there is something to this softball thing that is just very entertaining.
Oh God, yeah. I have so much fun watching, and I'm kind of with you on there too about the baseball thing. I'm not really excited for what's going on in baseball. Obviously, we know what's going to happen next year with the lockout. We it's almost a certainly guaranteed.
Yeah.
I have my thoughts on that one. I call the Dodgers the buy here, pay here Dodgers, because they buy everybody. If you can't beat them, just buy them, is their philosophy.
You know what? They're playing within the rules, so
That is true, yes.
that's why the lockout will come, so they can change the rules.
And it's frustrating, but I mean, like, I even take notice about the All-Star version for AUSL softball. It's more entertaining to watch. And, after what happened this year with the WNBA All-Star debacle, it was not fun. My daughter is a big basketball. Her favorite player in the entire world, and you should know this, is Caitlin Clark. She loves Caitlin Clark like the nth degree. And her other favorite player is Asia Wilson, and also Ryan Howard plays for WNBA's Dream. And she goes, "Daddy, turn this off. This is boring." How bad is that when an 8-year-old sits there and says, "Daddy, I don't want to watch basketball"? And then we come downstairs after they get ready for bed. She comes down, she goes, "Daddy, can we watch softball?" That's the first thing she wants to say. "Can we watch softball?" That makes me excited. My wife played softball her entire life. So when you see, the younger generation getting really involved with it, that just makes it extra special. Now, my last question for you is, I want to get your thoughts. I asked this last night to both Matt and Shane, because we had our season premiere last night. I want to hear your thoughts on the Dejanay Carrington situation going on. Obviously, it's still a very hot topic. In case people don't realize what it was, is she clotheslined Sophie Cunningham, and then she made a little bit of a racist comment through her social media. What are your thoughts on this whole situation? Do you think that it's being blown out of proportion, or do you think there is some merit that maybe she should have at least received a hefty fine, or maybe even a single game or more suspension?
I honestly, when it comes to the WA, I get frustrated all over the place, mainly because there's just been so many issues, whether it's like, referees not calling things, whether there is the lack of fines or suspensions. I will always go down in saying that Kathy Engelbert is the worst commissioner in professional sports, hands down. Like, she is basically making every other like bad commissioner look good at this point.
Yes, I said the same thing.
She does it. As much as I get frustrated with the NBA and how much LeBron James has been able to cry and stuff like out there and just complain and do whatever he wants. You know what? The guy is a star player. He has a lot more fans than I do. And the NBA kind of caters to that. They cater to their stars. But it's like, all right, when you take a step back, you're like, well, I guess it kind of makes sense. You want to keep the general amount of the fan population happy. But when it comes to Kathy Engelbert, she never acknowledges Caitlin Clark ever. Like, she just... she kind of takes credit for the explosion of WNBA for herself. Now, it's not like Caitlin is looking to be like, hey, give me credit. But the fact that she can't even acknowledge that she is a big reason, her and Angel Reese, and what they brought from the college basketball level to the professional level, just in terms of their overall popularity. They're true NIL. Let's be honest.
Yes.
It doesn't go acknowledged whatsoever. And then at the same time, all these things that come up, there isn't like it just seems like she just stands back and lets the discourse happen. And I think that's very frustrating, whether it is like the clothesline and the words that gets blown up. And like, I understand there are very meaningful political issues involved here, and everyone's going to have an opinion on things. But I do think it's unfortunate that I feel like some of the things are being so it's almost being hijacked where we're not paying attention to the actual play on the court anymore, right? We're paying attention and talking about all of these things that it's not even talking about the awesome basketball that we get to
I
see
know, right?
day in and day out, right? I mean, you have like the Valkyries in year 2 that are like the sneaky good team, right? And so I think that's the unfortunate thing that has frustrated me when it comes to the WNBA and Kathy Engelbert, and honestly, just like the mainstream media, right? Like, that's why on our show we rarely touch on a lot of that stuff unless it's really sports related, just because I don't like how a lot of things are being hijacked. Again, I'm not saying the way that people have felt about some of these polarizing topics are invalid. It's totally valid. I just don't like that we're not attributing or giving the same amount of passion to talking about the actual sport and to promoting the women that actually play. Like, okay, you can have your opinion and be passionate about these things. They're very, very important issues. But why don't you bring that same energy to talking about the ladies as people and other things that they might be doing off the court, good things, and the competition on the basketball court? Like, that's the part that is really kind of disturbing to me, is that it feels like a lot of it is being hijacked. And once again, things that people bring up, like your question is a very fair question. And I think it's important to really discuss some of these issues, but bring the same energy to talking about the ladies on the court, right? Like, just talk about them as being phenomenal basketball players. Talk about how incredible these runs
Great
have
role
been, how the
models
games
too.
are. Yeah, exactly. There
I
are.
mean, you saw what Angel Reese did? She bought, so they had Barbie night at the Atlanta Dream game. She bought 16,000 Barbie dolls because they played at State Farm Arena. You know what my daughter asked and said, Daddy, I want to get one of those. I'm like,
See?
I can't go buy one of those right now because they're sold out. But she's like, but Daddy. And I'm like, but Daddy, nothing. We live 2.5 hours from Atlanta. I'm not going to go drive down there to hopefully get one because they're going to be gone in a matter of seconds. But I mean, that kind of stuff. And when you said what Angel Reese has done, what Caitlin Clark have done for the game of basketball, you do have to acknowledge, I have my feelings about Angel Reese at times because I think she does a lot of this instead of letting it talk on the court as much. Now she has gotten better, I will say. Yeah. And she really has done a complete 180 for what the WNBA's Dream did. The Dream were decent last year, but they were not that level that needed to be. And then this crazy, blockbuster trade happens, and Angel Reese comes to Atlanta, and Atlanta is biting for the chance to be in the top 4 in the WNBA playoffs. I'm like, that is what she has brought to the game. And, she is going to go down as the greatest rebounder to ever walk the face of women's basketball, hands down. And I agree. I was a rebound machine when I played. I loved rebounding. It's just something about being that polarizing one down below that ball is mine. That is, and she even says that ball is mine, and I love it. And you do have the people who make fun of the fact that she misses wide open shots, but guess what? LeBron James does too. Michael Jordan did too. Hakeem Olajuwon. I mean, people forget that the Bulls before Michael Jordan came, they were absolutely dreadful. They were terrible. And then 84 comes along, and you got Michael Jordan, who just dawned on the court, and he became the greatest to ever walk the planet. I still think he's the GOAT, hands down. I don't care what people sit there and say that LeBron is. No, I don't think LeBron is, because what Michael did for the game, he saved basketball. Remember, basketball one time it was a second thing. It was in the back burner. Nobody wanted to go and watch the NBA because you only had the Lakers and you had the Celtics. And then you got Jordan comes along, and then the league just ballooned. So Jordan basically saved basketball. And I think that LeBron is more of a showboat, and I've had horrible feelings about him since day one, being titled as a self-proclaimed king. I don't ever agree with that kind of stuff.
We agree on that. I am definitely not a LeBron fan. I'm more of a Jordan Kobe girl. I do love Steph Curry. He's my guy in this generation. But yes, and that's where I'm like, oh, as frustrating as he is, though, I'm like, I know he's really popular, so I guess, but
so, and Matt is a diehard Bronny James and LeBron James. But I wanted to show you this. I found this last night, and LeBron James is. Someone said, "What do you classify LeBron James as in one word?" And I said, "Flopper, crybaby." What else do you want to call it? Well, I found this. Oh, my phone went dark. Here you go. I found this. It's called the new LeBron James action figure. So I showed that to Matt all night last night, and he's like, hardy, har, har. So, but I want to tell you this. I am so honored that you came on, take time out of your day. I know it's still early in the afternoon there. So, but I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on and talking to me. It really does mean the world to have a friend like you. And one of our comments, this is my editor for my website, Mark, said, hey, leave LeBron alone. So, but I want to say this. I'm honored that I have you as a friend. And you know, like I told you, we're planning on coming out there next summer. So hopefully we get to cross paths before you go to Chicago. So I'd love to have lunch with you. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you so much for having me on. You caught me. I mean, I remember when you asked if I wanted to come on, you caught me at the perfect time, like August. It's still, you know, a little ways away because only volleyball and soccer have kind of started up for UH and high school football. But once that first UH football game happens, then it's like all gas, no brakes. You start to trickle into high school volleyball, more high school sports, more UH sports. Then it gets a little crazy from there on out.
The Stanford game, are you planning on doing any watch parties to watch them play? Because you know I am. I'm absolutely I'm gonna have the food ready. I'm gonna have the drinks ready, and I'm gonna have every TV in this house is gonna have Hawaii and Stanford. But is there any watch parties you plan on doing? Or you plan on going anywhere to watch it?
I'm planning to go there to watch it.
Nice.
To be honest, I have my flight booked. It's a quick in and out. Like, luckily, it's an easy flight there. Flying to SFO. I do my show Friday morning, and then I'm on a plane leaving Hawaii at about 1 p.m. I think. Get to California a little later in the evening. Go to the hotel, and then get a hopefully nice over to sleep. Wake up and head on over to check out all the festivities there in Palo Alto. So I'm excited to see the not only the football game, but I've never been to Stanford or their stadium or anything before. I'm such a football nerd, and I just love going to new places, meeting new fans. So everyone, if you want to follow me on Instagram at Kule Agbayani, just like my name spelled there on the screen, hopefully to bring you guys some behind the scenes stuff. And it'll be fun. It'll be a lot more fun if Hawaii can pull out what some could consider an upset. But
that's an absolute upset. You kidding me? That's darn well, because they're beating an 8. First, by the way, it's so weird to say that Stanford is in the ACC, but let's get an ACC victory. I am so ready. Can we get an amen that football is back? Yes,
football
so excited.
Is back.
And you know,
will be a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah, well I don't know if you heard what I was telling Marcus. It was 98 degrees today here. It's hotter than blue blazes. I'm so over this summer. I really am. And, you know, I'm looking forward to saying goodbye to the 100s, the 90s, the 80s, heck, even getting rid of the 70s. I'm good with 60-degree temperatures. You know, and my friend Brian, he lives over there, and he's like, that's freezing to me. I'm like, well, it feels good here. So, but I want to say thank you again, and we'll talk soon. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Mahalo for coming on. I really appreciate it. And tell Paul and everything. And everybody, I appreciate them, and I'm definitely gonna watch you guys. If you could let everybody know when the Wake Up in the Den is on next. I know you guys changed your schedule around.
Yes, we changed our schedule a little bit because we want to go on YouTube a lot more often. Hopefully the internet likes to work with us. So we are now live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Hawaii time. So either, just tack on the difference from 3 to 6 hours, wherever you guys are watching from. Or, I mean, we get people that tune in from, I think our newest one we saw on Monday was England. We got someone in England. Ooh. I know we've had Australia, Alabama, Boise, Carolina, the Carolinas over there. And all over. And of course, our friends and family here in Hawaii. So 8 to 10 a.m. Hawaii time, YouTube, look us up, Hawaii Sports Radio Network, not to be confused with the other brand that is out here in sports radio-ish. So we are the blue logo, just so keep that in mind. We have a blue logo color. That's how you know that we are the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, or that has our team here. And at High Sports Radio. But we always people that I saw like a chat that wants to know about the outlook for UH football.
Yes,
we're bringing you guys a lot of the outlooks and a very high quality. I think our Michael Esquero just posted something on hawaiisportsradio.com about offensive lineman Dean Brisky. So we have a lot of content. Go to our website for all of the UH football stuff and tune into the show because, yeah, if you're a UH football fan, you can count on once the season starts, we are talking about that at least every single show for probably half the show.
Why not? Because that's literally the best thing to talk about. Come on now.
Depending on how the season's going. Yeah. If
Well,
the season is going well, we will be obnoxious, and yes, we will just spam you with a bunch of UH football content.
I'm kind of agreeing though with the 10-2 predictions. I kind of agree. Obviously the one that I worry about the most is North Dakota State. They're not a cakewalk. People are sitting there saying, "Oh, they're FCS." You do realize they almost beat Colorado by 1 yard. There was 1 yard away from knocking off Colorado at Colorado. So they hang with the big boys. So
that's why we're happy that we get them here. We get them
Yes.
here. We don't got to go there first
Yes.
time around. The Mountain
freeze.
West was like, welcome to the Mountain West, and essentially gave them the hardest schedule because they have to go on the road to Hawaii, UNLV, and New Mexico, and I think Air Force, the top teams, at least according to the preseason. So, so if North Dakota somehow makes it into the Mountain West Championship, then they 100% deserved it because that schedule is brutal in conference.
Yep, and the fact that they have to travel all over the planet to basically play. So, but I want you to have a fantastic afternoon. Have a good evening, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Take care. Y'all, I hope you had a fantastic time listening to one of the best people I know. I love Cooch. She is fantastic, and thank you seriously for her coming on. We really do appreciate it. I want to go over things. Let's let everybody know this is definitely an exciting time. We are back. Season 7 is going to be epic. The website, nuttysports.com, is in its final stages. It should be up next week. So you'll be able to start reading sports stories. You'll start being able to watch all of our episodes archived and more. So greatly appreciate that one. If you guys can, I don't know if you guys saw earlier today, we had Mark on with Chapel Fowl. So he is actually the beat writer for Clemson Athletics. Well, that interview was last night. And because it was during the same time of our show, we split it. So he was able to be on the interview during that time. And also it was going to be re-aired today. So it's actually aired tonight. It aired at 6 o'clock our time. Tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. it will re-air. And then again at 2 p.m. So you guys get the opportunity. If you didn't hear what Chapel had to say about Clemson, you guys will absolutely enjoy it. Snowman, it's good to see you, my brother. We actually mentioned you last night. Folks, this is the newest member of the Sportz Nutz Network. Him and his team we are so excited to have him there. If you guys want to get some more good quality talk in, check him out. You guys are not going to be disappointed, I promise you. Hey, if you guys, let's go ahead and see if you can. If you haven't done yet, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. We are at 12,500 subscribers. Help us get to the end of the year mark of at least 15,000. Our goal is good, but we would love if we help us get to 20,000 subscribers. We can do it with your help. Just go and tell everybody, hey, I found a really cool sports talk show. I think you guys would really enjoy it. So go from there. If you guys also haven't seen it yet, Mark Livingston had an interview last week with Steven Garcia, the former quarterback for University of South Carolina, and he lives in Tampa. Well, he played for the Tampa Buccaneers, but he was recently diagnosed with stage 4 colorectal cancer. Go check out the interview that Mark had with him. It's over 20,000 views and over 12 million people listened live on the radio to this. That was fantastic. He also had interviews with Kai Carlin, who is an exclusive beat writer for the Philadelphia 76ers. He interviewed Chapel Fowler, yesterday. So we have a lot more big interviews set up. And y'all, I promise you, one of them is Marshawn Lattimore. He played for South Carolina. You guys are going to want to tune in. I promise you. We are beyond excited to have him on. Our store, the Sportz Nutz Network store, is up. We already had a couple more purchases, so please go and get your merchandise today. Really appreciate it. If you are interested in being a part of the network as a sponsor, Marcus Lattimore, If you are interested in being part of the network as a sponsor, you can send me an email at brandonkeeleronradio@gmail.com. You can send it to Matt via his social media, Shane. You can send it to Mark. Send it to anybody who's a part of this network, and we will get you set up with the best rates possible to be a sponsor. So here's an outlook for the next few episodes. I want you guys to take this note, so put it on your calendar. We were going to have a hockey team on Friday, but because we have not heard anything, we have gone ahead and just going to have episode 254 on this Friday. So there will not be, the Minnesota Northern Lights will not be with us. So don't worry. We will try again at a later date to have them on, but we have even more good news to talk about. For episode 255 will be Tuesday, August 25th. Peter Blake, who covers the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is back. He's going to talk about the Buccaneers season and give you his predictions for NFC South. Who do you think could be his dark horse? Because it might not be Tampa. That's a thing to think about. Episode 256 will be Friday, August the 20th. This one I'm really excited about. Jeff LaCour, the public address announcer for the WNBA's Portland Fire, is joining the show. I'm really excited to talk with him. This is our first time that our show and our network will get to host somebody actively with a WNBA franchise. Really excited on that one. Episode 257 will be Tuesday, September 1st. Ben Caminos. Remember, we had to reschedule him because he was affected by the tornado up in Menasha, Wisconsin. We're really excited to have him on. He's a really good friend of mine, so you guys are going to enjoy his conversation. Episode 258 will be Friday, September the 4th. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to butcher his last name, but his name is Mike Maniscalco. I know I've butchered. I got to find out how to say his last name. But he is the play-by-play announcer for the Carolina Hurricane, the Stanley Cup champion Carolina Hurricane. And he's also a former player. He is coming on our show. And then episode 259 will be Tuesday, September the 8th. Chris Lowe, who is formerly of ESPN, now on On3 Sports, is joining our show. So as you see, we have a whole lot more set up. And also Manny Scala. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it, Snowman. Yeah, I really did butcher that name. But we have him coming on. And then Mark also has a lot of good interviews set up. I promise you're not going to want to miss any of these interviews. There's so many to mention that, I mean, you're going to have to just check out our Facebook page for all the latest updates because we have a lot more to cover. So with that being said, for everybody who tuned in tonight, who watched our show on all of our social media platforms, listen to us on all those absolutely amazing radio stations. We can't thank you guys enough. And also to our international audience, you guys rock. We appreciate each and every one of you. As you guys did see here, Snowman said, please check out Snowman Multimedia. Talk much? Also, folks, we got some good interviews. Yes, they do. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, guys, you have a fantastic evening. As I always tell you, peace up, A-Town down. Why it's the greatest sports there ever was. Hey, we'll be back with you on Friday. You will see myself, Shane, and Matt. Maybe we have somebody else join us too. Part of the network. We'll see. Maybe his name is Tim. I don't know. We'll see. But I also want to let you know the answer the call segment will start very soon. So you guys are going to get a good opportunity to interact more with the show. You guys have a fantastic evening. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon. As we always tell you, enjoy this great outro. And as always, goodbye.
Welcome to Sportz Nutz University. Another show is in the books.